books. But the most salient feature of today's coverage of these by-election results is the monumental Everestian hypocrisy of the Blairites inside the Labour Party and the media echo chamber that was ready, revved up, souped up, ready to go if they had got the results that they wanted. Now, they now tell us Copeland is the important result, although, in parenthesis, every media outlet and all the media stars were, funnily enough, at Stoke. None of them were in Copeland. The coverage of the by-election early this morning, which I watched, had a series of regional amateurs presenting the programme, because all the front-rank political journalists were in Stoke, because they thought that Corbyn was going to be hooked on the spike of a UKIP breakthrough in Stoke. That didn't happen, although the result was not great. That didn't happen, and therefore Stoke is no longer of any importance at all. It's a footnote in the news of the day. What really matters, we're now being told, is the loss of a Labour heartland called Copeland. Have you ever been in the Copeland constituency? Because if you had been, you'd know that the description of Copeland as a Labour heartland is utterly ridiculous. Labour has been losing its majority in Copeland for years, even decades. I looked at the figures today. Jack Cunningham, now Lord Cunningham, a grandee of Labour politics, one of the front-rank leaders of Labour politics over 25 years, scraped home in the Copeland constituency. And Jamie Reid, about whom more, much more later, had reduced it to a marginal, which is one of the reasons why he's gone off to work for the nuclear power industry. He had reduced it to, as it says on the ticker tape I'm watching on TV, more than 2,500, as if that was a big majority. More than 2,500. That is a wafer-thin majority. It wasn't Jeremy Corbyn that lost all those votes. It wasn't Jeremy Corbyn that lost 4.5 million Labour votes between 1997 and 2010. It was a succession of Blairites who lost those votes, who lost that. Elizabeth has dialed it from Clitheroe in Lancashire, and she's on next. Elizabeth, welcome.
Good evening. Good evening, George.
And to you, madam.
Well, I was going to talk about Copeland and
yes,
the nuclear, but I want to change it now. I want to appeal to everybody out there to don't listen to the media and the television. It's a lot of lies. I'm a mum with 2 very disabled daughters. Life's being made a misery for us, and not only for us, for the homeless. There's young people out on the streets. They're hungry. They're cold. They're freezing. There's people being made homeless every day by this Tory government. They keep sneaking in little things. Just like you don't have to have a house now fit to live in for human habitation. They're so wicked and cruel and sneaky. They're doing the ordinary people, the working class are being brainwashed into thinking they're doing good things when they're not. They're evil. They're evil.
Well, I agree with that. I think that. But plainly, Elizabeth, not enough others in the country think that. Otherwise, the Tories wouldn't have, in mid-term, have put their vote up in Stoke and won the seat in Copeland.
Have they not seen the food banks? Have they not seen the people? It's as if they can't see what's the total sadness of people's lives are being ruined. People are dying of hunger. The sanctions are terribly cruel to some people. They've got nothing. Having to go you're severely disabled. We've got to go for examinations to make sure that we are severely disabled. It's torture and worrying.
A woman with no hands. Maybe Edward can get me this story. A woman with no hands was sanctioned this week, sanctioned because she didn't open the letter from the department. She couldn't open it because she has no hands. And the letter, when opened, said that she was fit for work.
People need to listen to the real news, what's going on. Don't be brainwashed. Everything isn't all right. And just because you've got a nice warm house and you've got a job, please don't be selfish. Think of everybody in this country.
Well, Elizabeth, it's not even just don't be selfish, though as a religious believer myself, that is an article of faith. But you are only one closure, one redundancy notice, one shutdown of your workplace away from being one of those people.
Sadly.
Any day, your boss can give you a redundancy notice. Any day, your company could shut down. Any day, your company could cut back. And then you're on the dole. Then you are at the mercy of these people who told a woman with no hands that she must be sanctioned.
George, I'm 63. They've not given me my pension at 60. I've been looking after disabled children all my life for a carer's allowance of £63 a week. And that is what I've done. I've dedicated my life to other people. And I'm so angry that they've took my pension away because I'm desperate for it now and I need it. This Tory government have taken so much from us. Anyway, I'm not going to waffle on, George.
No, you didn't waffle for 1 second. You spoke from the heart and you pierced the heart of everyone who heard you. Thank you, Elizabeth, for that call. I'm narrating. I'm almost finished. I'll finish this coming week. The 1901 novel by Robert Tressel, The Ragged-Trousered Philanthropist. And it's a study of how an advanced worker, Owen, who could see what needed to be done, who could see what was happening in the country and the world, his difficulty in persuading his fellow workers with their backsides literally hanging out of their trousers, with their boots nailed together to keep the upper and the sole together, who could be and were at an hour's notice sacked by ruthless sweater employers. How difficult Owen found it to persuade people of their own interests, not to be unselfish, not to care about others, not to prioritize other people's interests, but to see their own interests. And that's how I feel this evening. And I'm angry, as you probably have already inferred. 0344 499 1000. Glasgow Kiwi says, Tory Tristram Hunt failed to create a crisis with JC's leadership. Luckily, the plotters had a backup plan. Treacherous Jamie Reid. We shouldn't even mention his name, actually. He's not worth it. Glasgow Kiwi says, meth describes an alcoholic homeless person who lives in a house. The word originates from Liverpool. Crystal Tips 7 says, Blairites lost Copeland for us. What a useless, vindictive bunch they are. About time they grew up. Let's go to Tina in Newham. Go ahead, Tina.
Hello, George. It's very poignant that you come to me after speaking about the bag-of-trousered philanthropist, because that was the book that we were all brought up on.
Me too.
Oh, good, good. And, George, I haven't been able to listen to any media at all today. I mean, I don't even bother to try anymore.
Lucky you, Tina.
Yeah, no, I just wait for you to come on, George, and all my family love you, and so does Tim as well, and everyone else, and follow Sputnik and everything. And it really, really is University of the Airways, and it's a free space, and it's a much valued space. So thank you.
Thank you.
Really enjoyed having Richard Bergman on tonight as well.
He's good, isn't he? He's really good.
He's great. We really need Jeremy Corbyn to come on.
Yeah, but, Bergen speaks to the North. He speaks to the working class.